ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. எல்லோருக்கும் காலை வணக்கம். கவனத்தை முழுவதுமாக நமக்குள் வைத்துக்கொண்டு நமது மனதை ஒரு நிலைப்படுத்துவோம். மெதுவாக கவனத்தை நமது இதயத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் இதயத்தை தங்கள் அன்பினால் நிரப்பி நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் தங்களை பூஜிக்க ஒரு தகுதியுள்ளவராக மாற்றுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் இதயத்தில் வந்து அமர்ந்து நாங்கள் எப்பொழுதுமே தங்களுடைய திரு கமல பாதங்களில் சரணாகதியோடு இருக்க எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. இந்த பிரார்த்தனையோடு நாம் நமது குண்டலினியை உயர்த்தி பந்தன் போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். முழு கவனத்தை நமது சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, யோகதாயினி ஆகிய தாங்கள் என்றென்றும் எங்கள் சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் நிலைத்திருக்க வேண்டும். எங்கள் சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தை முழுவதும் மலர செய்து எங்களுக்கு யோக நிலையை தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. மூன்று மகா மந்திரங்களை கூறுவோம். ஓம் த்வமேவ சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ மகாலக்ஷ்மி மகாசரஸ்வதி மகாகாளி திரிகுணாத்மிகா குண்டலினி சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ ஆதிசக்தி மாதாஜி ஸ்ரீ நிர்மலா தேவியை நமோ நமः. ஓம் த்வமேவ சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ கல்கி சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ ஆதிசக்தி மாதாஜி ஸ்ரீ நிர்மலா தேவியை நமோ நமः. ஓம் த்வமேவ சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ கல்கி சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ சஹஸ்ரார ஸ்வாமினி மோக்ஷ பிரதாயனி மாதாஜி ஸ்ரீ நிர்மலா தேவி நமோ நமः. ஸ்ரீ கணேசரிடம் பிரார்த்தனை செய்வோம். ஸ்ரீ கணேசா, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் ஆன்மீக வளர்ச்சிக்கு தடையாக உள்ள எல்லா உபாதைகள், எல்லா எதிர்மறை சக்திகளையும் முழுவதுமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் தங்களைப் போல் முழு அர்ப்பணிப்போடு முழு சரணாகதியோடு இருக்க எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ கணேஷா சாக்ஷாத். ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीगणेशा साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्तिमाता जी श्रीनिर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः. நமது நாடிகளை சமநிலைப்படுத்துவோம். முதலில் 2 கைகளை பூமியின் மீது வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ பூமி மாதா. எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் எல்லா உபாதைகளையும், எதிர்மறை சக்திகளையும் இந்த பூமி மார்க்கமாக தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். எங்கள் நாடிகள் மற்றும் சக்கரங்களையும் தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். ஸ்ரீ ஆதி பூமி மாதா சாக்ஷாத். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आदि भूमि माता साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः. இடது நாடியை தூய்மைப்படுத்துவோம். கவனம் முழுவதும் நமது இடது உள்ளங்கையில் இருக்கட்டும். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் இடது நாடியை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். எங்கள் இடது நாடியை பாதிக்கும் தூய்மையற்ற விருப்பங்களையும், தேவையற்ற கடந்த கால சிந்தனைகளையும், எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் சோம்பேறித்தனம், பயம், குற்ற உணர்வு, மமகாரம், கட்டுப்பாடுகள் எல்லாவற்றையும் பூமி மார்க்கமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ மகாகாளியின் அருளால் எங்களுக்குள் தூய விருப்பம் உண்டாகட்டும். எங்களோட ஒரே தூய விருப்பமானது தங்களுடன் ஐக்கியமாவதுதான். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ மகாகாளி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ பைரவராக எங்கள் இடது நாடியிலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். வலது நாடியை தூய்மைப்படுத்துவோம். கவனம் முழுவதும் நமது வலது உள்ளங்கையில் இருக்கட்டும். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் வலது நாடியை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். வலது நாடியை பாதிக்கும் தேவையற்ற எதிர்கால சிந்தனைகளையும், அதனால் ஏற்படும் அதிகமான உஷ்ணத்தையும், அகங்காரத்தையும், கோபம் மற்றும் தூய்மையற்ற செயல்களை முழுவதுமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ மகா சரஸ்வதி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ ஹனுமாராக எங்கள் வலது நாடியிலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். இரண்டு உள்ளங்கைகள் மடியின் மீது. கவனம் முழுவதும் நமது மைய நாடியான சுழுமுனை நாடியில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். தாயே, நாங்கள் எப்பொழுதும் சமநிலையில் இருக்க எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். எங்களுக்கு தூய கவனத்தையும் தூய விருப்பத்தையும் தூய செயல்களையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ மகாலட்சுமி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ கணேசராக எங்கள் சுழுமுனை நாடியிலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். நமக்குள் அமைதியையும் நுண்ணதிர்களையும் உணர வேண்டும். முழுவதுமாக நமது கவனம் அன்னையின் திரு கமல பாதங்களில் நிலைத்திருக்க வேண்டும். கவனம் முழுவதும் நமது மூலாதார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக்கொண்டு ஸ்ரீ கணேச அதர்வ ஸ்ரீஷத்தை கூறுவோம். ஓம் நமஸ்தே கணபதயே त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं दर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं कल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षात् आत्मासि नित्यम् हृदं वश्मि सत्यं वश्मि अवत्वमाम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुजानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरातात् अवदक्षिणातात् अवचोर्ध्वातात् अवधरातात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमय त्वं ब्रह्ममय त्वं सच्चित् आनन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगतिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगतिदं त्वत्त्वधिष्ठति सर्वं जगतिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगतिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मः त्वं योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यम् त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णु त्वं रुद्र त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायु त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरोम् गणादीं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण हृदम् एतत्त्वमनुस्वरूपं गगार पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वार शान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुद्ररूपं नादसन्धानं सन्निधा सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या कनकऋषिः निःसृद्गायत्रीः छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो तन्दी प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशाम् अङ्कुशधारिणं व्रतं च वरदं हस्तेऽर्पिप्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुभूषितं भक्तानुगम्बिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च शिष्टयादव प्रकृते पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायते यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रतपते नमो गणपते नमः प्रमथपते नमस्ते अस्तु लम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवस्तुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः கவனத்தை இப்பொழுது சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மதேவ சரஸ்வதியாக எங்கள் சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்திலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். எங்களுக்கு தூய வித்யாவையும் நிர்மல் வித்யாவையும் தூய கவனத்தையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். நமது சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்தை முழுவதுமாக நமது உள்ளங்கையில் உணர வேண்டும். ஏதாவது பாதிப்பு இருந்தால் நமது கட்டை விரலில் நாம் உணரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி தாங்களே எங்கள் சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்தை முழுவதுமாக தூய்மைப்படுத்த வேண்டும். எல்லா குணங்களையும் மேம்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ சாரதா தேவியாக இருந்து எங்களுக்கு எல்லா வித்தைகளையும் எல்லா படைப்பாற்றல் குணத்தையும் தந்தருளுங்கள் அன்னை. கவனத்தை நாபி சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். நாபி சக்கரத்தை நமது நடுவிரலில் கவனத்தை வைத்துக்கொண்டு, ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி தயவு செய்து எங்கள் நாபி சக்கரத்தில் வந்தமர்ந்து தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். எங்கள் நாபி சக்கரத்தின் எல்லா குணங்களையும் மேம்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. எங்களுக்கு நிறைவான திருப்தியையும் அமைதியையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ லக்ஷ்மி விஷ்ணுவாக எங்கள் நாபி சக்கரத்திலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். கவனம் வைக்கும்போது ஒவ்வொரு சக்கரத்தின் மீது நமது உள்ளங்கையிலிருந்து நாம் நுண்ணதிர்வுகளை உணர வேண்டும். கவனத்தை நமது பவசாகரத்தின் மீது வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி தயவு செய்து எங்களை போலி குருமார்களின் ஆதிக்கத்திலிருந்து நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். தாங்களே எங்களுக்கு குருவாக வந்தமர்ந்து எங்களுக்கு வழிகாட்டவும், தங்களின் அருளால் நாங்களே எங்களுக்கு ஸ்வயம் குருவாக இருக்கவும் குரு தத்துவத்தை மேம்படுத்துங்கள் அன்னையே. ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மா, ஸ்ரீ விஷ்ணு, ஸ்ரீ சிவனின் குரு தத்துவத்தை மேம்படுத்துங்கள். பத்து குருமார்களுடைய எல்லா குணங்களும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. கவனத்தை நமது அனஹத சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரலாம். நமது அனஹத சக்கரத்தை சிறுவிரலில் முழு கவனத்தோடு நாம் உணரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி தயவு செய்து எங்கள் அனஹத சக்கரத்தில் வந்தமர்ந்து எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி எங்கள் ஆத்மாவை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். தங்களின் அருளால் நாங்கள் ஆத்மா என்ற உண்மையை உணர்ந்துள்ளீர்கள். தாயே தயவு செய்து எங்களது தன்னம்பிக்கையை மேம்படுத்துங்கள். எதற்கும் அஞ்சாமல் பயமின்றி இருக்கவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ துர்காவாகவும் ஸ்ரீ ஜெகதம்பாவாகவும் தாங்களே எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். கவனத்தை மெதுவாக நமது விஷுத்தி சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரலாம். விஷுத்தி சக்கரத்தை ஆள்காட்டி விரலில் நாம் உணரலாம். தாயே, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் விசுத்தி சக்கரத்தில் வந்தமர்ந்து எங்கள் விசுத்தி சக்கரத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ ராதா கிருஷ்ணாவாக இருந்து எங்கள் சக்கரத்தின் குணங்களை மேம்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. எதன் மீதும் பற்றில்லாமல் நாங்கள் சாட்சி போகத்தோடு இருக்கவும், எப்போதுமே கூட்டாக இருக்கவும், மற்றவர்களோடு இனியவையாக பேசவும், மற்றவர்களை பாதிக்காமல் எங்கள் செயல்களை இருக்கவும், நாங்கள் செய்யும் தவறுகளை அதை உணர்ந்து திருத்திக் கொள்ளவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. கவனத்தை மெதுவாக நமது ஆக்ஞா சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஆக்ஞா சக்கரம் நமது மோதிர விரலில் உணரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் அகங்காரத்தையும் மமகாரத்தையும் நீக்கிவிடுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்களுக்கு மன்னிக்கும் குணத்தை தந்தருளுங்கள். தாயே, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் ஆக்ஞா சக்கரத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, நாங்கள் எதுவும் செய்வதில்லை. தாங்களே எல்லாம் செய்பவர். அதை அனுபவிப்பவரும் தாங்களே. எங்களுக்கு ஆத்மாவின் ஆனந்தத்தை தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. 3 முறை ஓம் ஹம் ஷம் என்று கூறுவோம். ஓம் ஹம் ஷம். ஓம் ஹம் ஷம். ஓம் ஹம் ஷம். கவனத்தை மெதுவாக நமது உச்சந்தலையில் சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்களுக்கு நிர்விச்சாரா நிலையை தந்தருளுங்கள். எங்கள் ஆத்மா பரமாத்மாவுடைய இணைப்பில் இருக்கவும், நாங்கள் எப்போதும் தங்களுடைய கவனத்திலும் தங்களுடன் இணைந்து இருக்கவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தை முழுவதுமாக திறந்து நமக்குள் நுண்ணதிர்வுகளை நாம் உணர வேண்டும். நாம் அமைதியோடு இருக்கும்போதுதான் நாம் தியான நிலையை முழுவதுமாக உணரலாம். நாம் இதே நிலையில் சிறிது நேரம் தியானத்தில் இருப்போம். எந்த எண்ணங்களும் இல்லாமல் இதே தியான நிலையில் நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியின் சொற்பொழிவை கேட்போம்.
Today, we have assembled here to do the Guru Puja. The word Guru comes from the one which is magnetic. The person who is magnetic, the one which attracts the attention of the seekers is the Guru. Also it means the heaviness, or you can say a person who is very steady, who is very deep, who has the knowledge, and who can act like the Mother Earth. For the power of magnetism in the Mother Earth also is called as magnetic, but in Sanskrit is Gurutva Karshan. Means the attraction of the heaviness of the Mother Earth. But actually it is a power of the Mother Earth that makes us stand properly on our legs when it is rotating with such a tremendous speed. Otherwise we would be all thrown away. With that velocity that she is moving, we are still attached, or we are one in our balance is only because she has gravity. This gravity has to be in a Guru. Gravity means a kind of a serious understanding of oneself and one's own responsibilities. So a Guru has to be very steady. In these modern times, people are very mobile, all the time agitated, all the time getting disturbed. With small things happening here and there, they get disturbed. They meet people who are not of any quality, then they get disturbed. These disturbing qualities come from our deficiency in our gravity. A person who has gravity doesn't get depressed, neither get excited, nor get overly enthusiastic, nor is he very sad or unhappy. So he is in the center. He is in the center of his being. But how do we become the Guru? That is very important for Sahaj Yogis to understand. Many have felt that they are gurus. They have tried to behave in a funny manner and have lost their guru position. First and foremost thing, for Sahaj Yogis, it is important that they must have introspection. They must watch themselves. If a person runs about changing because the fashion has come, because people have suppressed them or have asked them, just to please people of cheap values, if a person changes, then he cannot be a guru. He has to station himself properly on the values of Sahaj Yoga. Without introspection, you will not know. You will never remember what you have done wrong, nor will you think of what you have to do right. But that is only possible if you go on improving yourself. First and foremost thing is, all the great saints have praised their Guru. For example, we have a very great saint, Gyaneshwara, in India. He has written a complete chapter about the Guru. In English, they have translated it as preceptor. Guru is the preceptor. And what he has done is a great thing. He says you are not to challenge the Guru. Otherwise, you can never become a Guru. For namesake, you might be, but you are not. Secondly, you can never misbehave. You can never be rude, arrogant, and you cannot show your temper to a Guru. If that is so, that means you are not a Guru, you are still on a very low level personality. It is very clearly said that if you try to say against other gurus who are real gurus, who are very high caliber, that also, then you are not a guru. But I would say that you all have got now vibrations. You all have got vibratory awareness. When you have vibratory awareness, you are capable of finding out about everyone. Now you need not talk about your own understanding of a person, but try to face that person directly and tell that person this is the problem and ask him to change. But in Sahaj Yoga, we have something more than other gurus had. Other gurus were very, very strict. They used to carry a stick in their hand, a big stick, which they would use for walking or for hitting their guru disciples. they used to hit their disciples in such a bad manner that the disciple was literally frightened of the Guru. I'll give you an example of a Guru I came across. One fellow was there in India who came to one of the ladies who was a Sahajyogini, and he said that my Guru has sent me word that Adi Shakti is going to come and stay with you. Is it true? She said, yes, she is going to stay with me. So what? He said, my Guru has told me that you go and request her, and if she could come to our ashram. She said, I'll ask Mataji, I don't know. This fellow came to a program and he saw me, a housewife. He said, this cannot be that Guru. But when I came in, he saw, and when I did self-realization, that everybody's Kundalini was awakened, he was so surprised, and he prostrated himself before me. Now his Guru was living in Amarnath. He's a very famous famous religious place in the Himalayas. And this fellow lived in a place called Ambarnath. So he asked me, Mother, will you come to my ashram? I said, why not? Because these gurus in the ancient time never used to leave their seat. They called takya, means the pillow. They never left their takya. I said, all right, I don't mind, I'll come to your ashram. So just keeping quiet all the while. So I went there. This Guru fell at my feet and he was very, very respectful. And then we came back home. So this fellow started telling me, if you don't tell my Guru, I would like to tell you that I have got a very bad agya. Can you cure Mother? I said, why not? I will. So I went back to this Guru again and I said, why didn't you cure his agya? He said, why? Why should I cure? Who cured my agya? I worked out myself. I had to introspect, find out, and I cured my own agya. And why should I cure his agya? Let him, Lord, let him work. Let him get to this. Otherwise, he will be a spoilt man. I was quite surprised. And he said, you do it because you are a mother. You are nothing but love. And that's why you are doing it, all this for others. But not me. No Guru will open the agya of his disciples. I said, then why are you a Guru? He said, because we have to guide them. And if they have their agya badly cut out, if their attention is not all right, I am not bothered about it. It is their duty to introspect and find and climb the ladder which I have put before them. So I am a Guru, I can only give them the ladder to climb up. It is they who should work very hard. It is they who should introspect. It is they who should correct themselves. Why should I help them to such an extent that you open their agya? I said, all right, you allow me to open his agya if you don't mind. They said, you are a mother, do what you like. I have nothing to say. If you want to do that, you will spoil him. You will spoil him. Let him do it on his own. Otherwise, you will be spoiling him. I said, as you are also spoiled that you don't open anybody's gas, yes? But whatever position I have achieved is a permanent one. So I opened his agya. Then this fellow on his way, he told me that his guru came back and he put me hanging on a well. And he used to every time lower the rope so I would go into the water. 10 times he did it. But I said, why did he do such a cruel thing? He said, because he found me smoking a cigarette. My goodness. So I asked his guru, I said, why do you do such horrible things to your disciples? He said, otherwise, if you don't do like that, they will never rise, they'll never come up. You go on forgiving them, and the more you forgive, the worse they become. And they will show no assent at all. So you have to be very strict with them. Please don't spoil them all the time. I was really surprised. How could he say so? You see, he said, Mother, if you give everything free, you give them everything so easily, they will never value their self-respect. They will never value their self-realization. I said, it's not so. You have to give them a chance. You have to allow them to rise and to allow them to become something. Like Mother Earth, what she does, she sprouts the seeds, then the trees come up, then after that she gives them the fruits and she sees that the fruits are ripened. All does she do, but she said, but they are not trees, you see. They are human beings and they have freedom to become devils also. Ah. I said, all right, if there are devils, I can manage them. You just see how I can manage them. And if they are devils, they'll remain devils. You cannot change them. So he argued with me, and when he met Sahajya, he asked me, how many of you are willing to give life for Sri Mataji? Do you know what she has given you? They said, yes, we do. So they came to me and told Mother, he wanted us to give life for you. I said, that's not necessary. It's not necessary. Because he used to ask his disciples, perhaps. And then I met many like him, who were very strict gurus. Complete obedience was needed. Complete humility, complete surrender was needed. A word against the guru was not tolerated, but even you could not answer, you could not show any temper to a guru. Now I have met people who are like that sometimes. Then I stop talking to them, that's it. If they want to improve, they can improve. They don't want to improve, you cannot force them to improve. But according to these gurus, there should be a great fear in their mind, that they should be so frightened that they should behave themselves. Now we expect so much from the Guru, that he is your father, mother, he's a friend, everything. He is a pure person who just wants your assent. He wants to look after. He wants to guide, wants to protect, and takes you to the life of spirituality. And this is the way a guru has to work out. But what is expected of the disciples is even much worse. The disciple has to be absolutely a pure person. He should have a pure desire to become a spiritual person. If he doesn't have this pure desire, he has some other desires, then absolutely useless. Like some people come to Sahajya, I have seen it. They want to make a name out of themselves. They become great masters of everything. They want to dominate everything. That is not. That is not important. There are some people who try to make money in Sahaja Yoga, a way of making money. That also absolutely wrong. And not only that, but it's very low level that we want to make money out of Sahaja Yoga. Then there are people who just come here for some politics. They go on saying things here and saying things there. All these things are not going to give you any assent whatsoever. You have come here only to achieve a great life of spirituality, of becoming a guru. Now also this politics business is quite a lot. People try to enjoy the position of a leader. So they try to keep that position in a very special way. There's no need. If you are a leader, because you are a great master, you will remain. Nobody can challenge you. Nobody can dethrone you, and one should not get disturbed with any such fear. Sahaja Yoga is a yoga in which fear doesn't play any part. There's no fear for you. Only thing for your ascent, it is necessary that you introspect. Try to find out what have you been doing. Are you absolutely a humble person? Do you do whatever is told to you? Supposing I tell somebody, just go to, say, some place. He may not go. He'll come and tell me, Mother, you know, this happened, that happened. Some excuse. He may not go. But that's not being good. If you have been told to go to that place, there must be some meaning, and you have to go. You have to obey. If you are not obedient, then you cannot become a guru, because if you cannot obey, how can others obey you? This obedience is not for any personal gain of the guru, not at all, but for your gain only, for your education, for your ascent. So if such a view is taken, then what happens? That you start getting all the qualities of a guru. Firstly, a guru cannot be fussy man. First and foremost, I want this house, I want that thing, I can't like this, I can't like that. If a person who does not know how to get detached from all these habits, he cannot be a guru. How can he ascend? Of course, you have to try that you get rid of all these habits. There are funny habits which make you miserable. Doesn't make miserable others as it makes you miserable. No habit should cling to a guru. First and foremost is that he has to be beyond time. He should not worry about time. Many a times I have seen people, if they have to go to an airport, for example, something enters into their body, they become speedy, suddenly, everybody. Even if I have to go, I am going. All of them will become speedy. Everybody starts running helter-skelter. Why? I am going, you are not going. But it happens. Like that, if you tell somebody you have to go to a function or for some felicitation, people start jumping about. And that's a very modern disease. It was not before. So they start seeing that we are getting late, getting upset. But if you go on worrying like that, you don't go beyond time. And when you go beyond time, you control time. Time is with you all the time. Whenever you go, it happens. I'll give an example of that. We had a little girl in Kabela who fell down. And she broke her hand very badly. I was about to leave for America. I had come out of my room. When I saw the child, I said, all right, doesn't matter. I'll cure this child. first. They said, no mother, but your plane. I said, it's all right, forget it. So I got the child, treated the child, and she was all right. And after, I think, half an hour, I left. I left for the airport. And you'll be amazed to hear that that aeroplane was out of order, which was going to New York. So this plane is out of order. Then they said, all right, you can go by another plane which goes to Washington with the same ticket. I said, very good idea. Give me that. And I went by that. So that I reached Washington, which is a very, very nice airport to arrive, because there's no problem of customs, there is no crowd, nothing. All people go to New York, I don't know why. They should all go to Washington. It's very surprising. I discovered for myself that I wish I had not gone by that horrible plane to go to New York. Like that, everything works out. And the time comes what is good for you. It is such a lot of experience of mine which I can tell you, that to worry about time itself is a headache. If you leave it to this divine power and believe in it, then everything works out for your good. And if it does not, you must know that it is your testing. You must accept. You must learn to accept. Because whatever you have fixed up yourself as something very great is not. So what is the greatest thing you have to achieve? Your detachment. Then you become gunatit. Means, as you know, we have 3 gunas within us. One is that called as sattva guna, is the best. But there are 2 other gunas which are, as you know, that left side and right side. Either you are a right-sided person or a left-sided person. These 2 gunas within us are of no importance. Supposing you are a right-sided person, then what happens to you? You become overactive. Overactivity gives you fatigue, gives you all kinds of diseases which you have seen, and you have to cure right side. Such a person is extremely speedy. He cannot sit in one place for 2 minutes, all the time jumping, and he creates problems for himself and his family. Then the left-sided person, which we call as the tamoguna. The right side is rajoguna and the left side is the one which is tamoguna. Tamo means darkness. Such a man is afraid of darkness. Darkness, everything he is afraid of. But he becomes a very intriguingly, very crooked person. He always tries to trouble people in a very crooked manner, not openly. While the right-sided man is openly a Hitler. But this one, the second one, the one who we call as Tamoguni, is the one who tries to trouble others very much. Rajoguni has an opinion of his own about everything. When he is so much having his own opinion, he goes on forcing it on to other person. But if you see his own life, he is in complete misery. He cannot carry on with people, he cannot talk to people, and there's a very big gap between himself, his spirit, and his being. The second type, the tamogunis, are the ones who end up with all kinds of diseases. Even the right-sided people get lots of diseases, but the left ones get it psychosomatic. Psychosomatic diseases are very dangerous and not curable by human doctors. So you have to take to surgery. But again you go to the right or to the left, again right to the left. This is not a very good attitude, I think, towards life, that you get bound by one of these gunas, or you are all the time like a pendulum moving from left to right, right to left. So you have to be a steady person. For that, you all have to meditate. I know immediately a person who meditates, and I know who does not meditate. You will yourself know a person who meditates. It's a question of 10-15 minutes. But that you must do every night and morning, about 5 minutes meditation. Then you develop your balance. You develop your tenacity. You develop your own body in such a manner that it can stand lots of nonsense. It can bear lots of things. You don't have then desires left. What food you should eat, when you should eat, whom you should please, nothing of the kind. You yourself become such a sweet person that everybody is pleased and understand that one has to be like you. The people see you and you become like a model. People start following you, that means you become a guru. In this way, you get rid of these two habits that you have of left and right side. Now, Sattvagunis are the people who believe in the righteous. But when they are righteous, they have contempt for others who are not righteous. They go on saying things to such people, so they can develop a kind of a temperament. So they become aloof. They can go to Himalayas, sit there, and not to meet anybody. Get out of the society. Get out of all your relations, everyone, and just establish yourself as a big guru somewhere. This kind of also another generation is there, which is of no use. I met some of them when I was in Haridwar, and I told them, what are you doing here in the Himalayas? He said, we don't want to face human beings. They are useless people, they are good for nothing. You do anything for them, they go on troubling you, we don't want to be there. So I said, why have you become guru? If you cannot manage them, if you cannot get out of the troubles they are giving you and out of all those things and remain in your peace, then what's the use of becoming this? He said, we have had enough of it. Some of them were over 100 years of age and all that. But I said, what's the use? Your life is of no use. You are staying here alone somewhere in the jungles. He said, the tigers, the snakes, all of them know us, that we are great. They don't trouble us. But these human beings are terrible. If we go down, they'll trouble us and torture us. We don't want to go there. Because they're very ambitious or they are very negative. Something is wrong with the human beings. None of them have reached a perfect state. So that all that, I was surprised how they are not at all willing to come down and be with us and be a part and parcel of us. So they said, all right, mother, you have come, you are a mother. You can tolerate all this and you can work it out, but not we. We are out of it, we don't want to go back. They have lots of powers. They can control the nature, they can do so many things. But they said easy to control even a snake than to control a human being. Today they might behave in a particular manner, suddenly they will become horrible. You don't know these human beings, how uncertain they are, what uncertain quantity they are. I said there is a way of putting them right. You first give them realization. In the light of the spirit, they can see how they are doing wrong things. 99% people will know what's going wrong with them. Where are they missing the point? They will start seeing themselves. Spirit is like a mirror where you see yourself clearly and you start changing yourself. There's no introspection actually needed then when you have your spirit awakened. You can watch yourself. You can see for yourself clearly as soon as you become a developed or evolved Sahajya. And that is one point one should see if it has happened. If you can see something wrong with it, if you can find out what sort of defects you have, if you can detach yourself from those defects, and if you can understand that all these attachments and defects and habits are pulling you down, then only you can leave them. But that only happens when you have this mirror of your self shining through. When this light comes to you, you see for yourself what is wrong with you, what is the wrong path you are taking. Overnight, you have seen people have given up so many things. Many gross things they give up, but still there are many, I should say, subtle things which stick on to them. First thing that happens to you is that you start finding what's wrong with your own people of your own nation. I'm amazed, you see. When the English got realization, they started telling me about the English. When Italians got realization, they started telling me about the Italians. If you tell Italians that, you see, this Italian fellow did this, like that. He said, Italians, after all, mother, what will they do? They're just like this, you know. He himself is an Italian, but immediately he said. Same with the Russians, I have seen, is very surprising that they start telling you about what's wrong with the Russians or with the Ukrainian. All of them are quite aware. Even Indians, they'll say, after all, this is Indian, you know, Indian people, how they are, mother, they are doing like this.
ம். மெதுவாக நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி அவர்களுக்கு இன்றைய தியானம் நமக்கு தந்ததற்கு நன்றி கூறுவோம். குண்டலினி உயர்த்தி பந்தன் போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி.
Jai Shri Mataji.
ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி.